Who even asked for these Pokemon? I did, it was me. Heatmor and Durant, one of the most interesting pairs of Pokemon. Normally we'll get counterparts that are meant to be like complementary to each other, sitting together in the Pokedex lineup. But in Black and White near the end of the game inside Victory Road, we'll meet two of the angriest Pokemon I've ever seen. Heatmor is a mono fire type based on the Anteater. This might be one of the Pokemon from Generation 5 that was initially met with a resounding I think the concept is pretty cool and the design is alright, but again, coming from a game that was already full of polarizing designs, it didn't leave that much of an impression. Too bad though, because I think it's neat. The idea is actually pretty cool, especially when paired with the Bug and Steel type Pokemon Durant, because Heatmor's Pokedex entries really only say one of two things. The first being that it takes in air through the tail to fuel a fiery tongue, and that it is the natural predator of Durant. That's a neat way of taking Anteaters and bringing them into the Pokemon world. They already have a big tail and are known for their long tongues, so why not tie those together in a fire type Pokemon? I don't quite know what else is supposed to be going on with the body, probably meant to resemble pipes and stuff, but I like the big claws as well. Though I gotta be honest, sure, I'm appreciating this Pokemon now, but back when I first played these games I was not a fan. Because it was eating all the Durant, which I would say is one of my favorite Pokemon from Black and White. Yeah, it is literally just a metal ant, but there's something about the simplicity that really works to its advantage. It goes along with the visual multiples all inhabiting the same space and working together like a colony. Of course, the Bug and Steel type makes it the perfect prey for a Pokemon like Heatmor, which as I mentioned is brought up countless times in the Pokedex. Though it's not like this is a bad type combination, in fact I would say it's one of the best. It does take 4 times the damage when hit by a fire type move, but with so many other resistances, sometimes you just can't say no. I mean, look at Scizor and Fortress. But man, this is one angry looking Pokemon. Other bug Pokemon can be a bit intimidating, but with how happy Combi all appear to be working together to gather honey, I wonder what's eating Durant. Well, I guess we know what's actually eating it. That was like more of a figure of speech. This isn't the typical rivalry like what we see in Zangoose and Seviper. No, this is a matter of survival. Heatmor gotta eat, and Durant gotta live. Ironically, they would pair up pretty well on a team because Heatmor has the Flash Fire ability, and could be a good switch-in to cover for Durant's weakness. The only way to truly survive is together. But on its own, Durant is actually a pretty good Pokemon. It has some good physical attack and speed, just enough to maybe get in some hard and fast hits. I did use one on Battle Spot singles back in the day and got some funny wins here and there. For one thing, Durant has access to the ability Hustle, which raises attack but lowers accuracy. It can also learn the move Hone Claws, which raises both attack and accuracy, so in combination it gets a big offensive boost while negating the downside. Add in some powerful coverage moves like Iron Head, Crunch, X-Scissor, Thunder Fang, or Rock Slide and you're looking pretty good. This is a reason I ended up really liking this Pokemon, though mostly I think it was the design. I know I already said it was basic, but I kind of admire how straight it is played and how angry the little guy is. It was also the star of one of my first decks that I built in the trading card game. The Durant printed in Noble Victories had an interesting move called Devour. For 1 metal energy, you can discard 1 card off the top of your opponent's deck for each Durant that you have in play. The goal of the entire deck was to deck out the opponent 4 cards at a time, using other cards to stall the best you could and revive your Durant when they inevitably got knocked out, and I was able to get a few wins both in person at League events and with the old TCG Online. Yeah, it was a pretty gimmicky deck, but I'm usually all about those. I find it funny that later printings of Durant cards would usually have similar themes, either discarding from the opponent or working together with other Durant on the field. That is basically their whole thing. It's kind of a shame that in other media, Heatmor and Durant weren't seen together all that much. In the Black and White anime, Heatmor made a really minor appearance while Durant basically had an episode all to itself. In episode 74, after Ash's Swaloon evolves into a Leavanny, a bunch of Durant show up to steal some of the leaf clothing that it had made, accidentally kidnapping Axew in the process. The rest of the episode has a main cast heading into their lair in order to rescue Axew, and they have a battle with a big ant colony. Though it is weird how they don't have a moment to explain the situation and get a happy little ending where all the Pokemon get to be friends. No, the Durant are angry and they go down swinging. Obviously the main cast rescues Axew and moves along their merry way, but they had to fight tooth and nail against the bugs. There is an episode later on in Pokemon Journeys that uses these Pokemon a lot better. It's one of those classic kind of episodes where the main cast is lost somewhere and they end up getting mixed up, so some of them will spend time with each other, and there are funny little moments here and there, but of course all the while they're being pursued by the Durant whose home they've accidentally invaded. Meanwhile, topside there's a B-plot with a bunch of Heatmor. By the end of the episode they come crashing down into the lair as well, and so with the two groups of angry Pokemon fighting with each other, the problem kind of resolves itself and everybody's able to get away. It is actually a pretty fun episode, and like I said, it's a great way of utilizing both Heatmor and Durant. I feel that Heatmor and Durant are sadly some of the most forgotten Pokemon in not only Generation 5, but the entire series. Despite the fact that they made it onto the Nintendo Switch unlike some of their peers, you just don't see a lot about them. You cannot have one of these Pokemon without the other, and while that's a cute pairing, it also is sort of self-contained. As in, yeah, we have the lore about these two Pokemon being predator and prey, so that's about all there is to say. I am curious to see what's on the horizon for them. There's never truly an end to the story. I mean, they can both be found on Route 18 of the Kalos region, and with Pokemon Legends ZA coming up, who knows what'll happen. So let me know what you think about Heatmor and Durant in the comments below. Do you like one of them or even both of them? And if so, why? Anyway, I should probably get back to the colony, those guys need me. Thank you to every channel member, including the Great Gators, Cemetery Hill, Pio the Genius, SP Jump, Kurilu Stromboli, Justin Dowes, Al Rome, Pastel Blood, Cosmo Zero, Mr. Saturn, Rainfrux, Cheese at 62, Switz Cheese, Michael Snyder, Lockadox, Gallantry, Gator Kid 509, TF, Cheeseburger Lasers, Mathaclog 947, The Shadow and Josh Show, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support See Your Name here, get access to emotes and comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, as well as a monthly members-only podcast that I'm catching up on, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.
You can conquer new opponents with Pokemon Trading Card Game Black and White Noble Victories. Over 50 newly discovered Pokemon, plus a TCG Online code card in every theme deck. Each theme deck of 60 cards sold separately, one code card per theme deck.